The summer sun hung mercilessly over Cannae's dusty plains. Two colossal armies faced each other. Rome had assembled its largest force, nearly 80,000 men, swords gleaming. Their goal? Destroy Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian general who had humiliated them at Trebia and Trasimene. Today, they would end him. Across the field, Hannibal stood among his outnumbered forces, Carthaginians, Gauls, Spaniards, and Numidian cavalry. Fierce warriors, but far fewer than the Romans. Yet, he smiled. He had studied the enemy. He knew their pride, their hunger for decisive battle, and he would use it against them. As Roman war horns blared, legions surged forward, a wall of steel. Their commanders believed brute force would win. If they pushed hard enough, Hannibal's center would collapse. At first, it seemed to work. The Carthaginian front lines buckled under pressure. Step by step, they were driven back. The Romans roared in triumph. But Hannibal was not losing control. He was guiding it. His troops weren't breaking. They withdrew on purpose, drawing the Romans in. The more the legions pressed forward, the deeper they fell into his trap. Hannibal's formation, initially convex, curved inward. Then, the trap snapped shut. Hannibal's elite African infantry, stationed at the flanks, wheeled inward and struck like a vice. The Romans, still pushing forward, suddenly faced attacks from both sides. Panic spread. Then came the killing blow. From the swirling dust, Maharbal's Numidian cavalry charged. They had already crushed the Roman cavalry and now slammed into the rear of the legions. The Romans were surrounded. What began as battle turned to slaughter. Tens of thousands, packed so tightly they couldn't raise weapons, suffocated or were cut down. The screams of dying soldiers drowned out steel's clash. Blood turned soil to mud. For hours, the massacre continued. Roman officers fell one by one. By nightfall, the battlefield was unrecognizable, a vast graveyard. Of 80,000 Romans, only a few thousand escaped. Over 50,000 lay dead, including 80 senators. Rome had never suffered such catastrophe. Hannibal had done the impossible. He hadn't just defeated Rome, he had broken them. His officers urged him to march on the city, to finish it. But he hesitated. Instead of striking the final blow, he chose to wait. That decision would change history forever.